it's been a while. I guess it's story time, so we're going to do story time, and these are stories that please the Lord. You might wonder why this collection is released, but this is a selection of stories for children. And I say stories for children, you know, they're not suitable for children, but stories for children. Kill kids. My mum thinks I'm her kid, you know, the entire time, you know, kill kids. Anyway. So, HAMAS. Okay, this is stories for HAMAS, or whoever HAMAS, I don't even know about HAMAS. Joseph, okay, so how do I start this? There was a big family. 14 sons, kind of one or two half brothers, you know what I mean? I've never had to deal with this kind of thing so much in my life, half brothers. But I imagine it'd be weird, you know. I can imagine this kind of perspective of having a half brother, and he might be some tall, slender looking kind of Jimi Hendrix looking guy, you know what I mean? And the dad actually really liked this kid somewhat more than the majority of 14 to 1 or 13 12 or 13 to 1. And these are like, this one kid that I'm talking about, his name is Islam. His name is Islam. No, it's not. His name is Joseph. Joseph was his name. And the Joseph line brought Jesus in their own weird hippie way. So, you know, so you know who Joseph is. The Joseph line is a Christian line. They're hippies. They're a bit hippies, you know. They're a bit different. So yep. So it's kind of hard to love your half brother, but 14 to 1, and you know, just because, you know, if you had that wonderful multicolored and loving and very Christian blanket or seal or that Joseph had was given by his father, you know, I didn't know when to start this video. You know, where do you start, like, with this story? End is the beginning, is the end. And at the very end, you see, this is my olive branch and my lampstand. So, like, so yeah, it was you know, they put Joseph down the well, so the 13 or 14 brothers, it was about 12 brothers kind of thing, got together, and they put the favourite brother down the well. And it's not a story, I've already told a story, that's not really what's important. Basically, Islam is the Joseph line. So they're Jesus' friends and family. These are the people that Jesus had over for weddings. They kind of got drunk on hanging out with him. Just by hanging out with him, the water in their body turned into kind of wine, and they all kind of got a bit drunk and giddy and weird. That's why Islam don't need to drink, because they kind of get drunk. Naturally. Without consuming the leaven. They have it within. So, yeah, so like, we all love Joseph. Like Christianity, all go to church to be the Joseph line and be friends with the Joseph line. We all want to be Islam. Basically, if you have Islamic attendance, welcome to their actual attendance in a Christian church. I think they kind of be up front. You know, they'll be very humble people, but you know, they're very welcoming Christian churches. When they're taking the sacraments, I go to Christian churches, and I don't take into the sacraments of communion and stuff. Yeah, so it's hard. You know, you see a lot of this in Israel and Palestine, and you know, it breaks Jacob's heart, basically. I'm just saying to all of you, so I'm trying to, like, just get this together, and I'm not really making sense. And, you know, guzzling back, laughing with this horrible American crap written on it. But, it breaks Jacob's heart, basically, you know. It broke Jacob's heart in the first place that, these sons came back to him, and just, Jacob can be like God to you. You can imagine Jacob like God. They kind of came back home and said, like, oh, we lost Joseph. Oh, we just fucking lost him, you know. I was like, what? You lost my Joseph? And I was like, yeah, we just lost Tiger. Tiger showed up and scratched and tore his mantle apart, and he fell down a well. And they sold him in slavery to Egypt. It's a different story. It's cool, you know. Orestes, King Returns. kind of thing. But more importantly, like, you know, Jacob is like, don't be adulterous unto me. You know, you don't bullshit me. And he kind of said, okay, children, or okay, sons, go back to your work, or whatever. And then Jacob became very misanthropic. You know, he became very pissed off with the world because, like, my own children killed my son. I kind of, no, I mean, he was a nice kid. I really liked the kid from Leia, like, you know. She was kind of like a Spanish girl, maybe, you know. He had a very orthodox, he kind of maybe had his wife, and he had a kind of like this was before anything, you know. I mean, this was like, what the hell is this? Isaac, you know what I mean? This is nothing. This is the desert, man. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. But yeah, he's very broken-hearted and very tormented, and he knew they lied. You know, he knew that they lied about it. To him about what happened to Joseph, and he kind of, like, you know, he secretly paranoid and just birthed a paranoia maybe, and kind of hated them all, and everything turned to shit then, because of Jacob was like a heater bee, and everything turned to shit then, because he lost faith in humanity, he lost faith in his own children, he lost faith in his own 14. Until they all got back together, you know, and were a bit more decent to all of Joseph. So, like, this is kind of like, you know, if you want to say all of Joseph, Islam kind of primarily are the Joseph line. They had a prophet under Christianity, which reminded them it's very, very important. If you want to preserve Jesus, you really must preserve his friends and family, and Islam are his friends and family. So it's really, really important that you're welcoming and preserving his friends and family, Christians especially. But it works great for Judaism as well, because you just have to, you know, I know he's like a tall, slender looking bro, and he can play guitar better than you and stuff, but yeah, you have to love him. I'm a Levite, you know what I mean? I'm actually a Levite. I guess checked that a bit, you know, once or twice, and it's like, I'm turns out I'm like distantly connected to Levite. It makes sense, a hippie, hobo, Baptist, desperately seeking a Cairo, you know. This has happened 14 times, like, not 14 times, but like the 14 times it's happened about 4 or 5 times since this period, so it's all very interwoven and interweaving. Basically, you can't throw a stone without hitting one of Jacob's children, basically. If you hit Genghis Khan, so you can, everyone, white magic is being cool with everybody, your neighbours, and maybe even like your weirdest neighbour, like, you know, the little princess, and she loses everything, but she makes friends with her, like, Indian neighbour, and just because she makes friends with her Indian neighbour, and she treats him, like, nicely and respects, she becomes really blessed, and she has, like, an orrery, she has her star, and because she made friends with her, somewhat, like, you know, Indian, Hindi, or, like, you know, Pakistani neighbour, and that's where it is, white magic is. Some neighbours, you know what I mean? Everybody needs good neighbours, and they know, because they send all those bastards down to Australia to figure it out, and they fucking figured it out. Neighbours, fucking neighbours. So stop bombing each other, and I won't have this, I won't tolerate this right in the Middle East at all. I'm not tolerating this. And false factions and weird factions. Understanding. You're gonna love me, because, like, I'm so Hebrew tolerant, but I'm so, like, German cant, and feet right down to the bone, man, you know what I mean? It won't beat us this time, you know what I mean? I know it all. So yeah, everybody needs good neighbours, and if you want to earn those stars, if you do earn those stars like you were earning those stars, America will probably come and conquest and destroy you all again. And once I establish, you know, the Holy Kingdom of Israel, and everybody gets proper Jew respect, it could be Jew respect, you know, everybody gets proper Jew respect, Christina Aguilera, you know, Bill Hanks, and, you know, loads of people. But yep, lovely. And then you can, you know, sail on, yeah. So yeah, so blowing each other up. Jacob's family, you know what I mean? I don't care who you are, if you're Islam or Muslim or Judaic, you're Jacob's family. It's happened loads since then, you know, like, it's a very good example of these friendships. It's happened in China, it's happened in Burmese, it's happened in Russia, it's happened in France somewhere, you know. It's a very good story about the essence of the silverback gorilla, or the heater bees, or the bee, you know, it's very good. It does happen everywhere, and you just need to be good neighbours. So, yep. welcome Joseph around for a drink. Joseph doesn't drink. I don't think Jude doesn't really drink and stuff. But yous are 14 families. 14. So you learn to fly that American flag. Keep your stars. Shabbat Shalom. Oh. You know what Shabbat Shalom means? You bring me to your master, and he will reward you greatly for following my commands. Yes, my master will reward you greatly for following your commands. Zeus and his empire mind trick. He will deliver my father's droid, Captain Solo, and the Wookiee, and I will have the princess. Shabbat Shalom, baby. Don't dance for Jabba.